Hey everybody, this is going to be my first video. They're probably going to be voiceovers for most of them, mainly just because I'm driving and I don't know how I'm going to kind of put the videos out there. I don't know if it's going to be a view of me driving all the time, or maybe I'll put, I don't know, some video of a long drive ahead of it. But anyway, my name is Joel. Going to make these videos mainly just to get my thoughts out. I do have some things to say. I do feel like I have advice to give, and I do feel like I've experienced enough, and in my life that I feel like I can give some feedback and just give some general thoughts on life and general ideas of work or work-life balance or coaching or whatever it is, and the different things I've done in my life. I feel like I have always had some type of audience in different training roles or leadership roles, to where over time it seems like people always appreciate talking to me and they always ask for advice. And sometimes I feel like I'm not the most equipped, but after we have a conversation, people feel enlightened, or they feel like I've helped guide them onto a certain path, not necessarily giving them all the answers, but at least getting their thoughts on the right way to get themselves on the right track, I guess. So I'm going to start this channel mainly just talking every day. Things about going on in my life, things going on that might give people advice or a path to follow, or just kind of get their thoughts kind of in line in this, this busy world right now. The world is loud, it's fast, it's kind of hard for us to kind of get that direction sometimes, or reach out for that support, or get that therapist, or get that mentorship that we all kind of long for. So this channel is going to be called The Daily Commute, mainly just because the only time I really have to do it is on my commute to work, to and from. Every day I drive about 40 minutes. And I think that's the perfect amount of time for me to be able just to speak to the people I've, helped in the past, or people that might find this channel that kind of have the same guidelines I do, or the same perspective on life. This channel is not going to be me preaching some science or some degree that I have, or it's simply just an everyday human that has had opportunities to help guide others, and have received enough feedback to where I feel like maybe I should create a channel or create an outlet that people can reach out to, or at least listen to someone every day and just kind of have a different perspective, or try to see the things I've been through, try to connect in some way that can be kind of peaceful, or just quiet enough for them to be okay with their own thoughts, and try to find a way to get back in control of their life, or to slow it down a little bit, or just tackle one task at a time. So I'm creating this video just to start the process. I don't know if this is going to be my first video I post. I don't know if this is actually even going to be edited, or if it's going to be on there. I don't even know the first step of what I'm doing, but I just know I have to start talking. So yeah, a little bit about me. I'm in my late 20s as of right now when I make this first video. Come from a big family, youngest of a lot of siblings, and I guess kind of growing up that way, I've naturally just kind of become an observer. I'm always watching, I'm always listening to everybody, and I'm really just kind of connecting the puzzle pieces, or finding ways how I can best contribute to my surroundings, or my circle, or to the people that I care about. And over the years, as I've grown up and gone through my 20s now, and kind of going through my adult life and experiencing different things, I've realized that that really translates to different things I've done, whether it's working in behavioral health, or working in behavior coaching, or working in a fast business environment, or even now, like what I do, I work in a clinic that works with young children. And over that time, I've always found a way to just watch my coworkers, or observe other people that were either ahead of me, or trainers, or people that were just starting, and I found a way to kind of help them harness their skills and get better at it. And over the years, I found myself to become more patient. I found myself to be more calm in my thoughts, and I've been able to communicate better and help people find a better track. In my free time, I've coached football for the last 6 years at the high school level, and I've done head coaching from freshmen to JV programs, and I've worked alongside some pretty great varsity coaches who are also coaching college football now. Just plenty of opportunities, I guess, in my first decade of adulthood, and I think I've made the most of them, and I've learned as much as I possibly could, and it hasn't always been falling forward. I think that's part of life, is being able to hit those big crossroads and failing and really enduring that. And in this first decade, I kind of tell the ones that I'm close to, or people that ask me for advice, like, how are you so calm in situations sometimes? How do you feel like, you seem like you're so much older than you are? And I tell people, it wasn't easy. The way I kind of say it is I speed ran through some pretty hard obstacles in my life, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. The things I've endured and the mistakes I've made and the different paths I've had to go through. But I've had an amazing support group along the way. I've had some pretty good mentors in different jobs. I've had some pretty bad mentors, and always seeing it as a learning opportunity, I think, is the biggest thing, and seeing how much I can grow from it. In the past, I used to be stress-filled. I used to hold on to things. I used to hold on to my thoughts, and it would hurt those around me, and they'd constantly wonder, why I was in such a bad mood, or what am I thinking of? I was silent. I was quiet all the time, and that triggers other people in different ways. And over time, I realized, like, this stress or these thoughts, me not being in control of my life, is affecting all the people I do care about. So I found a way to just control one thing at a time, and put myself on the right path to be able to be at peace and let things happen, and know that I don't have to be stressing all the time. And once I figured that out, I've been a better partner, I've been a better son, I've been a better coach, I've been a better person all around. And like I said, it takes those battle scars to see those failures and to learn from them, whether that's in work, whether it's in life, or whether it's in relationships. And those aspects of it, I truly try to grasp as much as I can and try to be better from it. I've had an amazing human by my side over the last decade, and she's taught me so much emotional intelligence and how to be able to be with my thoughts and how to grow from it, and how to be in healthy ways to push each other and to constantly move forward together. And she's never given up on me. She's helped me through our hardest times together, and like I said, I can't thank her enough for all that she's done to put me in this position to where I can help people now, to where I can be a very well thought out coach with really good answers, or be a great manager and help all the people I work with, kind of give them the right tools to succeed. But like I said, so much work went into that, into kind of growing me up from a boy's mindset of being angry and stressed and just not thinking things out completely, to where now I feel like I'm an adult that's actually able to contribute and help people daily, and give actually thought out processes and answers to their problems. So like I said, as I go through this channel and the things I talk about, sometimes it's going to be things that people bring up that week, and I might just kind of talk on that and advice that I've given that week, or maybe I'll just kind of be reminiscing on different things I've experienced and how I got through different things. But so as I start this channel, I really want to just touch mentally on how you can be at peace with yourself and help impact lives, whether it's yours, your significant others, your family, or your friends, or even your kids, or just have that perspective to where some things can make a little more sense. Biggest thing I believe in is teaching the why behind everything. Whether it's teaching your kid why we have to do certain things this way, or teaching players why we have to run a certain drill this way, or why it has to be this certain process, or helping your staff understand why we're pushing numbers in this way and the why behind it, being transparent. And I think once people understand the vision and understand where we're going with it, it's easier to teach, and it's easier to kind of understand different perspectives. So on this channel, I'm not going to talk a lot about, religion or politics or things like that, because honestly, I'm so naive to all those things that I wouldn't have any real thought behind it. But all I have is my life experience and the things I can share in that aspect, or the things I've seen and learned, and I can give a lot of metaphors and teach a lot of different ways and just give you my words and my thoughts, and hopefully that's enough. Like I said, I don't know the meaning of this channel. I don't know what it's going to blow up into, but if it eventually just turns into 10-second snippets that end up on some other platform like TikTok or whatever it is, then great. And hopefully that helps people along the way and helps them just get that one extra thought out that they need to push them in the right direction. So, welcome to the Daily Commute. My name is Joel, like I said. And just tune in any chance you get. I'm going to post a lot of videos, and some of them will have more direct messages, and some of them might just be like this one where I'm just talking, and whatever comes to mind, I'm just going to kind of just say it. But right now, today, it's a Friday, and I'm just looking back on how far I've come. It wasn't very long ago where I wasn't so stable in my life. I was a big people pleaser. I was always trying to please the wrong people and trying to appease the different things and trying to make the right audience care when none of that matters. When you have such a tight circle of a small group of people that you care about and actually listen to, and make that your daily goal, and you push to find yourself and be healthy for them, it eventually becomes contagious to where you're being that healthy spot for them. They can be at peace, they can be happy, and eventually that gets really contagious, and it just spreads from there. And then when you're at peace and you're at happy every day, and you're happy at home, and you have that great balance, then when you're at work, you're your best self as well. And then you start impacting those people, and then those people start impacting their people, and then whether it's your hobbies or whatever it is, you go out for dinner, and now you're having a great conversation with the server, and you just made their day. Then now they're gonna go and make all these people's days that they're serving, and it's just super contagious. And I wouldn't be able to speak on that if I never got control of my stress, or really tried to get in control and put time into being calm and being okay with my thoughts and slowing the world down. But like I said, it's what really got me there was the idea of letting things happen. Stop worrying, stop trying to stress it, stop trying to control it and force things to happen. Just let them happen. And then you're strong enough, you're well-headed enough to where you can solve that problem when it hits you. Don't try to solve 15 problems down the road when they might not even happen. Just slow things down, set yourself up for success, and when that crossroad comes, knock it out of the park. And it took me years to understand that. It took me years to rewire my brain to trying to control everything, or trying to people please, or trying to do all these different things. And man, her words of just that she instilled in me for years, of just reminding me, like, let it go, let things happen. It finally clicked once I kind of got through some of the hardest moments of our life. And once I kind of got through all that, it eventually became the fact that I could laugh at any problem that was given to me. My best example that I give, in recent days, and to like workers and people that I kind of tell to like, have a good work-life balance, like control what you can control. The best example I have is recently, about a year ago, or 6 months ago or something, within the last year, I woke up like a little late for work, And I was already in a hurry. I was getting everything done, and I ran out to my car and was getting ready for the day. And I opened the driver door, and I looked down, and on my driver's seat, I could see my middle console was open and looked like all my stuff was ravaged. And I was like, oh, like I left my door unlocked. Like someone came and took whatever they could out of my car, and so I was just kind of like, oh, like that sucks. But I'm kind of like on the same mindset of like, oh well, like I got to get to work now. Like so cool. I'll see what the damage is once we get there. Once I have some time to set my day up, because I have workers that depend on me. So that was my first thought within the first few seconds of just looking down at my seat, just seeing all my stuff up from my middle console thrown on the seat. And I'm like, okay, so I push them out, throw them back in the middle console, and then as I look up, I realize my passenger window is smashed in, and there's glass all over the passenger seat. And I just laughed. And I was just like, all right, well, it's going to be a loud car ride on the way to work on my daily commute, because I'm going to be going down the highway and I'm not going to have a window. But I had to get to work. I had people that depended on me. I had a day to get started, and there's nothing I can really do in that moment. So all I did was drive to work, park my car within eyesight, to where where majority of the time where I would be. And, once the day's done, then I'll get home and I'll handle with what I can handle. And that's what I tell people now, is that for me to handle that situation that way, not to be angry, not to be, stressed, or not even to like call into work that day, but just the fact that like, all right, let's clean up this, make sure there's no glass on my driver's seat, and let's go to work, and I'll handle that after work. Me a few years ago would have been angry. I would have been super mad. I would have found a way to use a different vehicle that day. I would have called into work, and it would have ruined the whole day. And it would have impacted all the people around me. But after so many hardships that I've endured over the last, 7 years or so, of different things I've faced, real life hardships, I have now become kind of battle tested, to where now I can control what I can control. And I just kind of laugh at things and kind of say, like, try again. Like, whoever decided to put this on my plate today, thank you. Because now I have an opportunity to test myself and see how I'm going to solve this problem. And like I said, it takes time to get to that position. It takes time to be healed enough to see the world that way, and to see things as opportunities rather than whose fault is this? Who can I blame for this? Why me? That type of mindset, instead of looking at things negatively and just seeing everything as positive. Yeah, of course, I still get frustrated here and there. There's still times where I might slip up and, things are still upsetting. But it's a lot less frequent now to when that happens. That rarely happens now, to where I'm angry or frustrated, or, I feel like I can't solve something. So I guess that's kind of what I want to tackle with this channel, is that I want to kind of help you guys get to that point too, because I know there's so many people just trying to get through their daily life, and it's hard. It's hard not to be angry. It's hard not to be frustrated. It's hard to be always smiling for your kids. It's hard to always be smiling at work. It's hard to be your best self every day, every second, every minute, and to not affect those negatively around you. I've been there, and I've done it for years. But I can tell you right now, like, I am so at peace. I am so stable. I'm so happy with where I am in my life, and I know it can only get better. And there's going to be other hardships. There's going to be other obstacles in the next few years. But I want to help as many people as I possibly can. And I think that's where I've kind of figured out that's my kind of goal in life now, is that whether it's coaching youth sports or high school sports or just being a good boss, I want to impact as many lives as I positively can for the better. And if this channel helps some people along the way, then awesome. I hope it reaches you, and I hope I can help you along the way. And, hopefully we get there together. And hopefully I learn a little bit along the way about myself too. But for years, I've kind of told myself I'm never going to post videos. I'm never going to create a channel. It's just not who I am. It's not something I would do. I don't want to do it for the fame. I don't want to do it for those things. I just want to impact lives. But the fact that, like, I can still be humble. I can still choose to do it for me and still impact way many more lives if I do it this way. So thank you for listening today to the Daily Commute. I hope I can make your guys' commute better, or wherever you choose to listen to this. But thank you for listening in today. I know it's been a kind of a jumbled up first kind of message, but if it's something that interests you, look at my other videos, look at my other conversations, look at my other advice, and feel free to follow me on this journey, because I don't know where it's going, but hopefully we can figure it out together.